Okay, so what you are seeing here on your right is Postman. Okay, for the guys that test the APIs, this is pretty familiar. So what you are seeing here is an endpoint, the submission endpoint, where at the other you will have your API key. So the way you can authenticate your calls, your API calls, and on the body you will have the file, okay? And the file may be in JPEG, PNG, TIFF, PDF, okay? And once you submit this request on our API, you will get back a response with the status that was accepted, but at the same time also with the processing task ID. Okay, this is very important. So every time you send a document, you will get back a processing task ID. And this task ID is what allows you to query results or be notified that your document is ready. Once again, I call your attention that this is an asynchronous API. And the reason why it's asynchronous is because it's impossible to reach 100% accuracy in real time, as you can imagine. So this is asynchronous in nature, which means that it can take a couple of minutes to the results to be available, okay? So let's jump into the get details of a document endpoint. In here, you will be able to, using that task ID that you see here on the params, you'll be able to query the results, okay? So what you are seeing here is a JSON file. Can you just, yeah, exactly, expand that. So you see here that you have a set of line items, and from those line items, we are capturing different kinds of information. Typically, the information that is written on the document, like item code, item description, the unit, the quantity, the base amount, the total amount of the line, okay? So the one is the unit price, the other is the total of the line. And you have that, that kind of structure in an array. So if you scroll down, you will see that all the lines of the document were properly captured. Two things that worth mentioning. First, you see some fields that are empty. And the reason why they are empty is because that particular field, although is present on the data schema, is not present on the document, which means that, of course, it will not be extracted, okay? Alongside with the line items that you see here, you also have a set of other information, okay? And this other information is essentially the vendor name, the emission date, the document type. In this case, this is not an invoice, it's a purchase order, the document number. So a lot of information regarding the other. Also, it's important to mention that all this information that you are seeing on the IS API is already verified, which means that you don't need to do any additional validation on this data. You can just streamline that to an RP, to an accounts payable software, without the need to have a human in the loop on the customer end.